Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Nashtapraeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhakta Sevayana Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtake. So continuing with the discussion on Krishna book, chapter 90, summary description of Lord Krishna's pastimes. So continuing with Prabhupada's purport, renunciation is not as important as enhancing one's attachment to Krishna. The Krishna consciousness movement is especially meant for this purpose. We are preaching the principle that it doesn't matter whether a man is a sannyasi or grihastha. One simply has to increase his attachment for Krishna, and then his life is successful. Following in the footsteps of Lord Shri Krishna, one can live with his family members or with the society or within the society or nation, not for the purpose of indulging in sense gratification, but to realize Krishna by advancing in attachment for him. So this is the whole also aim of ISKCON. There are four principles of elevation from conditioned life to the life of liberation, which are technically known as Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha: religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. If one lives a family life following in the footsteps of Lord Krishna's family members, one can achieve all four of these principles of success simultaneously by making Krishna the center of all activities. So this is the whole purpose of life. And basically, Shukdev Goswami is telling this to Parikshit Maharaj because he has to leave his body only a few days now, couple of days maybe. It's already known to us that Krishna had 16,108 wives. All these wives were exalted souls, liberated souls, and among them Queen Rukmini was the chief. After Rukmini, there were 7 other principal wives, and the names of the sons of these 8 principal queens have already been mentioned. Besides the sons born of these 8 queens, Lord Krishna had 10 sons by each of the other queens. Thus, altogether, Krishna's sons numbered 16,108 times 10. One should not be astonished to hear that Krishna had so many sons. One should always remember that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God and that he has unlimited potencies. He claims all living entities as his son. So the fact that he had 161,080 sons attached to him personally should be no cause for astonishment. Among Krishna's greatly powerful sons, 18 sons were Maharathas. Maharatha could fight alone against many thousands of foot soldiers, charioteers, cavalry, and elephants. The reputation of these 18 sons were very widespread and are described in almost all the Vedic scriptures. The 18 Maharatha sons are listed as Pradyumna, Anirudh, Deeptiman, Bhanu, Samba, Madhu, Brihadbhanu, Chitrabhanu, Vrik, Aruna, Pushkara, Vedabahu, Shutdev, Sunandan, Chitrabahu, Virupa, Kavi, and Niyagrodha. Of these 18 Maharatha sons of Krishna, Pradyumna is considered the foremost. Pradyumna happened to be the eldest son of Queen Rukmini, and he inherited all the qualities of his great father, Lord Krishna. He married the daughter of his maternal uncle Rukmi, and from that marriage, Anirudh was born. Anirudh was so powerful that it could fight against 10,000 elephants. Wow. He married the granddaughter of Rukmi, the brother of his grandmother Rukmini. Because the relationship between these cousins was distant, such a marriage was not uncommon. Anirudh's son was Vajra, or Vajranab, also is said. When the whole Yadu dynasty was destroyed by the curse of some Brahmins, only Vajranab survived. Vajra had one son whose name was Pratibahu. The son of Pratibahu was named Subahu. The son of Subahu was named Shantasen, and the son of Shantasen was Shatsen. So this Vajranab, the grandson of, no, the great grandson of Krishna, he is especially mentioned here because after, as it said, when the whole Yadu dynasty was destroyed, only Vajra survived. Haribo. So only Vajra was survived because Vajranab then established temples in Vrindavan. And he got many deities made, deities of Krishna made. Because this was another purpose of his appearance, that he had to establish these deities in the temple so that Krishna's worship can go on in Kali Yuga. It is stated by Shukdev Goswami that all the members of Yadu dynasty had many children, just as Krishna had many sons, grandsons, and great-grandsons. Each one of the kings named herewith also had similar family extensions. Not only did all of them have many children, but all were extraordinarily rich and up. None of them were weak or short-lived. And above all the members of the Yadu dynasty were staunch devotees of the Brahminical culture. It's the duty of the Kshatriya kings to maintain the Brahminical culture and protect the qualified Brahmins. And all these kings discharged their duties rightly. The members of the Yadu dynasty were so numerous that it would be very difficult to describe them all, even if one had a duration of life of many thousands of years. That's how big the Yadu dynasty was. Srila Shukdev Goswami informed Maharaj Parikshit. Now, we have to hold our heart and let it sink in. Shukdev Goswami informed Maharaj Parikshit that he had heard from reliable sources that simply to teach the children of the Yadu dynasty, there were as many as 38.8 million tutors or acharyas. It says 38.8 million, exact figure. If so many teachers were needed to educate the children, one can simply imagine how vast was the number of family members. As for their military strength, it is said that King Ugrasen alone, was a king of the Yadu dynasty, had 10 quadrillion soldiers as personal bodyguards. 10 quadrillion, not even trillion, quadrillion. And if Yadu dynasty was so huge, so many tutors, 38.8 million teachers were there, so teachers must be having their family, their children, and then these bodyguards, they have their families, their children, and these are personal bodyguards, not even just the army of Dwarka. And then there must be shopkeepers and other maids and so many other people in Dwarka. And somebody will say, how is it possible to fit all of them in one small city of Dwarka? Well, for Krishna, nothing is impossible. He can do anything. If he wants, he can fit the whole population of the world today on just a tip of one of his fingers. What's a big deal for him? And it was not mentioned in Dwarka that there were traffic jams or accidents or accidents of chariots or horses. No. This is Krishna. You just have to have faith. Before the advent of Lord Krishna within this universe, there were many battles between the demons and the demigods. Many demons died in the fighting, and they were all given the chance to take birth in high royal families on this earth. Because of their royal exalted post, all these demons became very much puffed up, and their only business was to harass their subjects. Lord Krishna appeared on this planet just at the end of Dwapar Yuga to annihilate all these demonic kings. As it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Paritrana Sadhunam. The Lord comes to protect the devotees and annihilate the miscreants. Some of the demigods were asked to appear on this earth to assist in the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna. When Krishna appeared, he came in the association of his eternal survivors, but some of the demigods also were requested to come down to assist him. And thus they took their births in the Yadu dynasty. The Yadu dynasty had 101 clans in different parts of the country. All the members of these different clans respected Lord Krishna in a manner befitting his divine position. And all of them were his devotees, heart and soul. Thus, all the members of the Yadu dynasty were very opulent, happy, and prosperous, and they had no anxieties. Because of their implicit faith and devotion to Lord Krishna, they were never defeated by any other kings. Their love for Krishna was so intense that in their regular activities, in sitting, sleeping, traveling, walking, talking, sporting, cleansing, bathing, they were simply absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and paid no attention to bodily necessities. That is a symptom of a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Just as when a man is fully absorbed in some particular thought, he sometimes forgets his other worldly activities. The members of the Yadu dynasty acted automatically for their bodily necessities, but their actual attention was always fixed on Krishna. Their bodily activities were performed mechanically, but their minds were always absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So this is Yadu dynasty, and that's why all these members, whether demigods or his personal associates, Krishna, allowed them to come in the Yadu dynasty because of this quality. They were always always absorbed in Krishna. That's it. As Prabhupada in sitting, sleeping, traveling, talking, sporting, cleansing, bathing, they were simply absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. This is the family of Krishna. And if we want to be part of his family, we have to do this sadhana bhakti properly, always thinking of Krishna. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. That's all. Srila Shukdev Goswami has concluded the 90th chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam by pointing out 5 particular excellences of Lord Krishna. The first excellence is that before Lord Krishna's appearance in the Yadu family, the river Ganges was known as the purest of all things. Even impure things could be purified simply by touching the water of the Ganges. This super excellent power of the Ganges water was due to its having emanated from the toe of Lord Vishnu. But when Lord Krishna, the Supreme Vishnu, appeared in the family of the Yadu dynasty, he traveled personally throughout the kingdom of the Yadus. And by his intimate association with the Yadu dynasty, the whole family not only became very famous, but also became very effective in purifying others than the water of the Ganges. This is why, because Krishna himself is part of Yadu dynasty. The next excellence of Lord Krishna's appearance was that although he apparently gave protection to the devotees and annihilated the demons, both the devotees and demons achieved the same result. Lord Krishna is the bestower of 5 kinds of liberation. Of his Sayujya Mukti, or the liberation of becoming one with the Supreme, was given to demons like Kansa, whereas the gopis were given the chance to associate with him personally. So they were given Salokya Mukti. The gopis kept their individuality to enjoy the company of Lord Krishna, but Kansa was accepted into his impersonal Brahma Jyoti. In other words, both the demons and the gopis were spiritually liberated, but because the demons were enemies and the gopis were friends, the demons were killed and the gopis were protected. So the liberation, yes, because the demons were killed by Krishna, by his Sudarshan Chakra, or some other way, so they were liberated. But there is a difference, huge difference between the destination for devotees and the destination for demons. The third excellence of Lord Krishna's appearance was that the goddess of fortune was worshipped by demigods like Lord Brahma, Indra, and Chandra, remained always engaged in the service of the Lord, even though the Lord gave more preference to the gopis. Lakshmi Ji, the goddess of fortune, tried her best to be on an equal level with the gopis, but she was not successful. Nevertheless, she remained faithful to Krishna, although she generally does not remain in one place, even if worshipped by demigods like Lord Brahma. So this is another characteristic of Krishna, Lakshmi Ji. So she tried her best. In fact, even today, till today, she is performing austerities in Belwan, one of the 12 forests of Braj. But she is not given entrance in Ras Leela because she doesn't have that mood of the gopis. She cannot give up her opulence to serve Krishna. And when that opulence is there, and she is wearing gold jewelry and silk saris, that doesn't go well with the mood of the gopis. When the gopis have to collect the cow dung and take care of the cows, take care of the household chores, Lakshmi Ji doesn't do that. But still, she remains faithful to Krishna. Because here, she herself wants to serve Krishna. Other places she is Chanchala because people are asking for her favors. So she doesn't stay in one house for too long. But when Krishna is there, she is there personally to serve him. So this is another lesson for us. If we want to get the mercy or the benevolent presence of Lakshmi Ji, we should worship Krishna. Then Lakshmi Ji will never leave that house. Now that opulence could be monetarily, could be anything else, or could be the bhakti of Krishna, could be just devotional service. That depends upon Krishna. We cannot demand what kind of opulence we want. All our mood should be, yes, I want to serve you, Krishna. The fourth excellence of Lord Krishna's appearance concerns the glories of his name. It is stated in the Vedic literature that by chanting the different names of Lord Vishnu 1,000 times, one may be bestowed with the same benefits as by thrice chanting the holy name of Lord Ram. And by chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna only once, one receives the same benefit. So if we chant Vishnu Sahasranam, that's equivalent to chanting 3 names of Ram, and that's equivalent to chanting of only one name of Krishna. Not that strength-wise, it's just the benefit that one gets. So chanting, in other words, of all the holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, including Vishnu and Ram, the holy name of Krishna is the most powerful. The Vedic literature therefore specifically stresses the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Lord Chaitanya introduced this chanting of the holy name of Krishna in this age, thus making liberation much more easily obtainable than in other ages. In other words, Lord Krishna is more excellent than his incarnations, although all of them are equally the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, yes, Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam, Krishna is Purana Purushottam. The fifth excellence of Lord Krishna's appearance is that he established the most excellent of all religious principles by his one statement in the Bhagavad Gita that simply by surrendering unto him, one can discharge all the principles of religious rights. Sarva dharmana parityaja mam ekam sharanam praja. In the Vedic literature, there are 20 kinds of religious principles mentioned, and each of them is described in different shastras. Well, Lord Krishna is so kind to the fallen, conditioned souls of this age that he personally appeared and asked everyone to give up all kinds of religious rights and simply surrender unto him. It is said that this age of Kali is 3/4 devoid of religious principles. So, religion is considered as a bull. So there are 4 legs of bull, and so it means there are 4 religious principles. In Satyuga, all the legs of bull, austerity, cleanliness, mercifulness, and truthfulness, they were there. In Treta Yuga, one leg got removed. Dwapara Yuga, 2 legs got removed. Kali Yuga, only 1 leg is left. And that leg it will be hard to understand or imagine. The leg that is left in Kali Yuga is of truthfulness. And we can hardly see people being truthful in Kali Yuga. And it's only 5,000 years into Kali Yuga. But by the mercy of hardly 1/4 of the principles of religion are still observed in this age. But by the mercy of Lord Krishna, not only has this void of Kali Yuga been completely filled, but the religious process has been made so easy that simply by rendering transcendental loving service unto Lord Krishna, by chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, one can achieve the highest result of religion, namely being transferred to the highest planet within the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan. Considering all this, one can immediately appreciate the benefit of Lord Krishna's appearance on the earth and understand that his giving relief to the people of the world by his appearance was not at all extraordinary. And whatever Krishna established, the religious process, become my devotee, he says, chant the holy names, or surrender unto me. So he appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Kali Yuga to teach us how to surrender unto him, how to perform this devotional service. So this is another mercy of Krishna. Otherwise, we won't know what to do, how to do. Srila Shukdev Goswami thus concludes his description of the super exalted position of Lord Krishna by glorifying him in the following way. O Lord Krishna, all glory is unto you. You are present in everyone's heart as Paramatma. Therefore you are known as Jananivas, one who lives in everyone's heart. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Arjun Tishtati. The Supreme Lord in his Paramatma feature lives within everyone's heart. This does not mean, however, that Krishna has no separate existence as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mayavadi philosophers accept the all-pervading feature of Parabrahman, but when Parabrahman or the Supreme Lord appears, they think that he appears under the control of material nature. Because Lord Krishna appeared as the son of Devaki, the Mayavadi philosophers accept Krishna to be an ordinary living entity who takes birth within this material world. Therefore, Shukdev Goswami warns that Devaki Janmavad, which means that although Krishna is famous as the son of Devaki, actually he is a super soul, or the all-pervading supreme personality of Godhead. The devotees, however, take this word Devaki Janmavad in a different way. The devotees understand that actually Krishna was the son of Mother Yashoda, although Krishna first appeared as the son of Devaki. He immediately transferred himself to the lap of Mother Yashoda, and his childhood pastimes were blissfully enjoyed by Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. This fact was admitted by Vasudeva himself when he met Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda at Kurukshetra. He admitted that Krishna and Balram were actually the sons of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. Vasudeva and Devaki were only their official father and mother. The actual father and mother were Nanda and Yashoda. Therefore, Shukdev Goswami describes Lord Krishna as Devaki Janmavad. So, different scholars, they argue differently, especially Mayavadi philosophers. They say Krishna is Devaki Janmavad, so he cannot be the supreme personality of Godhead. He has mother and father. How can Supreme Lord has mother and father? They don't understand. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Brahmaji himself is Anadir Adira Govinda. He has no beginning, but he is the beginning of everything. But to perform his pastimes, to introduce the sweetness of parental love, he accepts Yashoda and Nanda Baba or Devaki and Vasudeva as his parents. He accepts them to have that sweet pastime, so Vatsalya Ras. But all this, people just cannot understand. For them, God is like, so God is great and he should fulfill all our desires. But God also has desires. God has desires to have pastimes with his devotees, to have loving reciprocations with his devotees. Whatever desires we have, God has unlimitedly those desires. This is hard to understand if we are not on the path of devotional service. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments? Okay, so we'll stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.